Hi, welcome. We're going to be working on a therapeutic yoga class for the lower back. So, this can be if you're currently feeling discomfort or it's something that happens on an ongoing basis that you need a little bit of support. And the first thing, we're going to start off in a chair. And what you want when we're sitting in a chair doing some of this is that you want to make sure that the knees and the pelvis are about at the same height. So if you have longer shins, you might need to sit on a pillow, and I have kind of a low seat, so I am actually sitting on a pillow, or even a block would work too. And then to be away from the back of the chair, and so that you are lengthening the spine and the head and the shoulders and the pelvis is lined up. So when you lean forward, you're using the back muscles to hold yourself up. If you lean back, you're using your abdomen to help support. And then there's, of course, the side muscles too. And this whole core area, you want to have evenly strong and ideally flexible, so that it supports, and that's where you get the lower back, abdomen. But a lot of people think core strength helping the back is the only, and that's not actually the full truth. That is only part of it. And if it's asymmetrical, it can actually pull on your back. So we want to have all aspects evenly strong, and of course flexibility in the hips, hip flexors, the sides of the body, because if we're asymmetrical, it'll also pull. And the little joint is called the SI joint, sacroiliac joint, which is in the lower back. It's where the spine rests on the pelvis, and it doesn't move a whole lot, but it's very easy to get out of whack if you have one side tight, whether it's in the abdomen region, the sides of the body, or the back. Or part of that could come from tight hamstrings, tight hip flexor, quads. So we're going to be looking at all of that today. And at the same time, stretching gently in a way that supports the back. Okay. So the idea for today's class is going to be focusing on the breath, bringing your awareness and being aware of the slight movements of the pelvis as we do the stretch, and never pushing. Okay, so we're going to go to a place of an easeful stretch, and that is when the body will be able to relax and open up. When we push, the body contracts to hold on tight, right? So that's going to be kind of our main focus today, is going to be on that breathing, on the focus and gentle stretching to help the body release its tension and open up, becoming more flexible. So as we've been sitting, hopefully with that upright posture, we're already getting some work going on in the core area. When we slouch and move back, we're actually pulling on the back, and actually shortening the front. So that's why we want just a natural. The natural curvature of the spine is the lower back has a slight arch to it, same as the neck. The neck has a nice arch to it. So we want to keep those as much as possible as the sit bones, the hard bone at the bottom of your buttocks is rooting down, and that will allow the spine to be nice and long. Okay, so we're going to start with just a little opening in the sides of the body, and then we're going to come all the way down onto the ground to do most of our work today so that the spine can feel supported. So keeping that nice lengthening of the spine, inhale, take the left arm up and relax the shoulder blade down the back. And from here, your other hand can hold on to the seat of the chair and just stretch over to the right to the point where you're feeling a nice opening on that side, but you can keep that left buttocks cheek down, rooting down. That sit bone, which I told about, that the very base of the pelvis is rooting you into the chair, keeping you stable, and a nice lengthening as you breathe deep. So the breath should be in a wave, starting at the belly, going to the ribs, finishing at the shoulders. And as you exhale, the releasing. And then inhale, come back up. Exhale, release that hand to the chair. And inhale, right arm up, relaxing the shoulder blade down. And then exhale, stretching over to the left to a place that's comfortable. Keep that right buttocks cheek rooted, that sit bone rooting down to keep that nice opening along the whole side. You might notice one side may feel tighter than the other. And that's relatively normal, but it also could be part of why you're feeling some discomfort in your lower back on a physical level. And then as you inhale, come all the way back to a neutral position. So we're going to do a little twist. But the thing about twisting is this pelvis that I've been talking about, we want to keep it steady, stable, not moving. So to help that, what we're going to do is place the right hand on the belly. And I want you to keep that forearm not moving as you take the left hand behind onto the back of the seat of your chair. So the spine is nice and long. Don't let the pelvis or that right forearm move as you start to twist, turning to the left, but don't let that hand move. So you're only twisting the spinal muscles that are above the pelvis, above that lower back. Each inhale lengthens the spine, and exhale, a gentle twist, gazing over your left shoulder. And then inhale, face back forward. Take the left hand onto the lower belly, right fingertips behind. Don't let that left forearm move with the pelvis, lengthening the spine. And begin to twist, gazing over the left shoulder. Deep breaths in, long breaths out. And as you inhale, come back to center. So make your way down onto the earth. So you might have to move the chair to the side. Take a pillow with you or a block for later use, and come all the way down onto your back with your knees bent. So from here, this should feel very comfortable. Now, there is a tendency to tuck the pelvis, which is pushing your lower back down on the ground, the pubic bone high. We don't want to do this. It may feel good in the moment. There's a little stretch that goes on, but it's not the natural position of your lower back. So you want to have the pubic bone and the belly button is more or less at the same height. So notice I was to tuck, my pubic bone would be up. And if I overarched, which you would not want to do, it would be really high. So you want to have this natural curvature, just like our neck is off of the ground. It has a natural curvature. Our lower back also has a natural curvature. So we're going to be in this as much as possible as we go through our warming up stretches, okay? So the first one is take the left knee in towards the chest, holding the thigh. Now, as you bring the knee in, you'll notice how the back moves onto the earth, okay? So this is natural as because the pelvis is going to tilt in that direction. So you will feel that, but you also don't want to overdo that. So just bringing that leg in, trying to keep a natural lower back arch. And then we're going to hold the back of the thigh. And as you exhale, straighten the leg, keep that foot flexed on the left side, and then bend the knee. So here we're waking up the hamstring. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Now, if you can't straighten all the way without discomfort, don't do it. Exhale, straighten and bend. One more time. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Bring that knee onto the ground and take a breath. Here, breathe into the pelvic floor. So it's like you're blowing up a balloon that's in your belly, and you're expanding the back, the belly, the sides. And as you exhale, you relax and release. Now we're going to go warm up on the other side. So keeping as much that neutral position of the pelvis, hold on to your right thigh and exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. And bend, bringing it back down. So now we're going to go back to the first side, and we're going to hold for a little bit. So bring the left thigh in without tilting the pelvis much. Hold on, and as you exhale, straighten and hold the legs as straight as you can. Now from here, take the foot in a circle. So we're taking, you'll feel the muscles of the shin and the calf and in the foot change as you take a circle with the foot, and then switch the directions. Keep the breath going. And bend the knee. Bring that foot back to the earth. Notice the pelvis. Notice that natural lower back arch. And then inhale, bring the right knee in without losing some of that. Exhale, straighten the right leg, and keep it straight, breathing deep and long, and begin to take that foot in a circle. Allow the toes to work too. So when you point, they're a little pointed. When you flex, they're extended. And when you have them extended, kind of spread them, switch directions with the rotation of your foot. And bend the knee. And with both knees bent, pelvis neutral, just take a couple deep breaths here, especially into the lower back. So nice full breaths, like you're blowing up the balloon. And as you exhale, allow that balloon to deflate, relaxing any tension that's there. Now from here, we're going to take the left ankle over the right thigh. Now, in this relaxed position, just place your hands on your pelvis so you can feel it, and then flex your left foot. And internally, without moving the hands, so without moving the pelvis, internally extend that knee away. I'm not pushing here. I'm just internally extending it away. Breathing deep into the belly and release out long. And then relax fully that leg. Bring the foot back to the earth and just take a moment. You're going to feel a little asymmetry from only doing one side with both feet on the ground, and just breathe into it. So here we're allowing the pelvis and the muscles around to see that, oh, a little asymmetry is okay. I can relax and release into it. And then we're going to go the other side. Take the right ankle in a relaxed position, flex that foot, spreading the toes. And then without moving the pelvis, extend the knee away. Take some deep breaths into the pelvis area, that blowing up the balloon, and then releasing it. Deep in, long out. And then relaxing, bring that foot back to the earth and breathe into the pelvic area again. So now more neutral, having stretched both sides, breathing in deep. And as you exhale, imagine releasing any tension, any discomfort back to the earth from where it came from. Now we're going to do an eye of the needle. So going back to the left side. And here, if it's difficult to bring the thigh in, you can put the foot up against a wall or on rested on a chair. So that's a possibility if you can't quite reach your hands around the thigh. So foot against the wall or on top of a chair if your hands don't reach. And relaxing a little bit, I want you, as you bring it in, to be mindful that the pelvis is hardly shifting, especially not asymmetrically shifting. It will tilt naturally, but make sure both sides are doing that equally as you hold on. Now try to keep the buttocks and the pelvis as much in that neutral position as you bring the leg comfortably in. So don't let the pelvis move much at all as you bring the legs in. And then breathe into that pelvic floor especially, and you should feel a nice stretch in that left booty cheek area. And you're breathing into that area as you exhale. See if you can release and let go of any tension. And then exhale, release that foot back to the earth, other foot to the earth. So both feet are back on the ground. And just with the hands on the belly, breathe in to that area like a balloon, though, opening up back of the body, belly. And as you exhale, pour out long. Now we're going to go to the other side. So being mindful. So with the hands on the pelvis, you can really be mindful of any shifting going on as you bring that right ankle over. If you use the wall or the chair, of course, do the same here. Your hands can help bring that shin back up without letting the pelvis lift too much. You want to keep the buttocks as much on the ground as you can, using your arm strength a little bit here to bring the legs in. And then breathing deep to where you feel that stretch in your right buttocks cheek. Deep in, long out. Think of the exhales, releasing some of the tension there. And then bring that foot down, the other foot returns, and take a few deep breaths into the belly, into the lower back, And as you exhale, imagine it melting all of the tension back to the earth. Now, from here, bring your knees in a little bit. So, not all the way to the chest, there's just a little bit. And take your arms out to a T. So, this is going to be strengthening your core. And you're going to keep your knees together as if your thighs were zipped up. Okay, so arms are out to a T. You're going to keep your shoulders and your arms on the ground, and you're just going to be like your legs are like a pendulum. So as you exhale, the knees come just a little bit over to the right, and then inhale up. Now, notice the tendency for the knees to move. Don't let them move. Exhale, go to the left. Inhale up. Exhale to the right. Inhale up. Keep going like a pendulum. So we're not straining too much. We're just using the muscles to hold for a moment and then bringing it back up. At the same time, we're also stretching the opposite ones. So we're just being mindful. It can be just small movements if your lower back's bothering you. It can be bigger movements if you're really just trying to be preventative. And then on this, make sure you're even. You've done both sides, the same number. Come back to the center, place the feet on the earth, return your hands to the belly, natural curvature of the spine again, and breathe into the belly, especially the lower back. Allow that, like that balloon, to expand in all directions, especially if you have a sensitive lower back. One more deep breath and release. Good. Roll all the way over onto your right side. And we're going to come onto our side here with the hips bent and the knees bent. So it's almost like you're in a chair that's lying down. And then your right forearm is on the ground, and the elbow is right below the outside of the shoulder. And then the shoulder blades are on the back, and your head is back. So, here, what we're going to do, and this, you can keep the bottom leg the way it is. We're going to do it a little differently with the top leg straight. This will, bottom leg, help stabilize us, and this the straight leg just helps us to feel a nice long line. So from here, what it's going to be a very minimal movement, but I'm pushing down on this bottom arm, and you're going to lift your waistline up. Exhale, bring the waistline down. Inhale, press it up. So I'm moving the waist up and down, pushing through the forearm, lifting it, and then relaxing it down. What we're doing here is we're strengthening this bottom part of the waist. Okay, so pushing up, this is helping with the strength of the core. Keep going. The exhale is I release it down. The inhale, I push to the forearms and I bring it up. And you feel it with the other hand moving up and down. And then release, and we're going to roll all the way over onto the other side. So now it's your other forearm on the ground, knees, bottom knee especially bent, then you can straighten out the top leg, other hand on the waist, and as I push down this way, this top hand, you'll feel it lift. Exhale, release. So my head Belly button is in, tailbone extending through that straight leg. And as I push up, I'm strengthening the bottom side. So as I push, I lift and then release. Pushing up and releasing. Pushing up and releasing. Again. And release. Good job. Come all the way onto the belly now. And here we're going to have the head neutral. So just stack your hands, and here your forehead can rest on the earth. And what we're going to do is we're going to be working our back now. So the first thing is to open it up so that it's not contracting as we lift our legs. So this means the inner thigh, we want the inner thigh to move in and up, and you're going to feel like your toes are pigeon toes, toes coming together. Now, move the belly button up towards the spine and extend through the legs, straightening. So this should have an inner rotation or a neutral rotation to the leg. So this movement is going to be relatively small. What we're going to be doing is lifting just about an inch off the ground your right leg. So as you inhale, lift from the inner thigh, your right leg. Up, and then exhale, release it down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up. And here you can have the head off the ground if you'd like. That will also strengthen your upper back. And down. One more time, up and down. Very important to lift from the inner thigh. Other side now, lifting from the inner thigh. Inhale up about an inch or two. Exhale down. So the thigh is just coming off. Inhale up. Exhale down. If you feel your buttocks squeezing, then you haven't inner rotated, and you need to get those inner thighs more up towards the sky before you lift. This is also strengthening your lower back if you can feel that gentle engagement. And then release. And rock your hips from side to side, letting go of all the tension in your back, in your hips, your buttocks, your legs. And then breathe into the back. So that same wonderful balloon here. Breathe in and release out. Bring the hands next to the chest and come to all fours. We're going to go into an extended child's pose. So take the knees as wide as the chest. Hips are back to the heels now, and walk the arms out in front. And if you're tighter, you might have your forehead on a pillow or a block, or if you're more flexible, forehead on the earth. But here, breathe in this position, extended child's pose. You can breathe more into your back. So from here, breathe into your lower back, expanding with your inhale. And as you exhale, release, letting go. We're going to add a little stretch to the sides, the muscles that we were just working earlier. We're going to walk the hands over to the right. So keep the buttocks back to the heel as you stretch the left arm across. We're opening up and stretching those muscles we just worked. So every time we work a muscle, we want to stretch it so that it knows that it can be strong and flexible. Breathing in and exhale, releasing. And then walk the arms across all the way over to the left. So chest is over the left knee, right arm reaches way across. Breathing in and exhale, pouring out. And then bring the hands back to the center. Come up to all fours. And here, we're going to do one last and then stretch of it is going to be working the abdominals. So with the fingertips behind, so I'm kind of at an angle here. And this is where you can have toes on the ground or lift the toes up. Depends on where you are with your back and the strength of their belly. The idea here is that we don't want to put strain on the back here as we're working our abdominals. So you should feel your belly working here. Head is in line, the back is neutral with the knees bent. We take the hamstrings out, which is part of what pulls on the back. And just breathing. And then coming all the way back up, lengthening the spine. Full waves of breath here. And we're going to go into some stretching for now, what we just did. So stretch the legs out in one direction, the arms overhead in the other. And this is a nice extension. So that stretches all of those muscles we just work in a very gentle way. So the legs are going in one direction, arms in the other. Nice breath. Full wave. And then relaxing the arms back to the side, bend one knee at a time. We're going to do windshield wiper pose, which stretches those muscles and the ones in the side also. So take the feet as wide as your mat with the knees bent. Exhale the knees down to the right. Keep your feet flexed here as toes spreading so that stabilizes the knee. And then extend your left arm overhead. So this opens up your whole left side of the body again. Now the belly button is in, tailbone extends through that left leg. That should keep it out of your back and into the stretch in the front and the sides of that the left leg. Nice full waves of breath. So this is stretching some of those core muscles we strengthened. Full waves of breath, deep in, long out. And then inhale, bring the knees back up. And we're going to go the other side. Exhale the knees down to the left. And take the right arm overhead. Keep the feet flexed as the belly button in, tailbone extends through that right leg. Full waves of breath, opening all that up. And as you inhale, arm down, legs up. Reposition the feet, take one knee at a time in towards the chest, and just rock for a second back and forth, releasing any tension. And then maybe bringing the knees a little closer in, giving the legs a little embrace. Here we have a little nice stretch in the back, but it's symmetrical. Take some deep, long breaths here. Deep in, long out. Releasing any asymmetrical tension. And then bringing the legs onto a chair and as we go into our final resting pose or shavasana. So we want our shins, bringing my little pseudo chair, but you want to have your buttocks up against the chair or the bed or the couch, whatever you have. Shins are on that, and then arms out to the side. So this support with the knees and hips bent is very therapeutic for lower back. Allow the arms to be out to the side, palms up. And we're allowing the weight of the legs to rest onto the chair. So with every exhale, we're just allowing a releasing, a letting go. Every exhale, a melting. So after you feel the back kind of releasing onto the support of the earth, the legs releasing into the pelvis and onto the chair, you can allow the breath to relax. Every exhale, continue focusing on the exhale of the breath, but also of exhaling and relaxing the muscles in the pelvis. Notice if you're holding any tension in the belly. Sometimes we do that if our back is bothering us. So right now, in this very supportive position, allow those muscles to relax. Maybe your legs are holding on. Let them relax a little bit more. Start to feel as you relax the legs and the pelvis getting heavier and heavier. This is allowing it to come back to earth, earthiness, earth quality. And that encourages the feeling of stability and safety so that the body can relax and let go of its overholdings. Start to slowly deepen your breath in and lengthen your breath out. Add little movements to fingers and toes. And take the heels a little, or knees a little closer into the chest, and then stretch the arms overhead. And then slowly roll over onto your right side and take a breath here. And on an inhale, use your hands to help yourself come back up onto your chair for a moment where we began so that you can sit upright again, ankles right underneath the knees, and don't lean back. Just use your body to help support your core, to help support a long spine. So you have that natural arch in the lower back, that natural arch in the neck. So ears line up with the tops of the shoulder, which lines up to the center of the pelvis. Your hands can help support and stabilize that on your legs. And just take full wave of breath from the pelvic floor all the way up to the shoulders. Exhale, pour out long. Just for a moment, notice if you might be a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more at peace. Body still heavy in a relaxed state, and maybe a little bit more open and stronger in your core. Thank you very much for being here. May your back be healthy and strong. Namaste.